Join me as I share the winners of the Golden Bookmark Awards as selected by my Outschool Book Clubs at the end of the year. Hi, I'm Mary Wilson, and I lead kids' book clubs on Outschool. I have a weekly graphic novel class and a monthly fiction book club class. And at the end of the year, I let the kids vote on 4 different categories to nominate the books we had read this year for different awards. So I thought I would share them here so you could add these books to your summer reading list. We're going to start with my 8 to 10-year-old graphic novel class. The first award that they voted for, we called the Visual Virtuoso. This was their favorite graphics of the year. So not necessarily their favorite story, but the book that contained their favorite graphics. And we had 2 winners for this award, and that was The Witches of Brooklyn and Keeper of the Lost Cities. This is the graphic version of the first part of book 1. And just to give you an idea, since we're talking about graphics, we'll take a quick peek into Witches of Brooklyn, and let you have a little peek into Keeper of the Lost Cities. All right, the next award was Captivating Cover. Which book did they give the Captivating Cover Award? This group actually gave it to 3. These were tied. All right, so we had Ember and the Island of Lost Creatures. That is a really fun cover, right? Okay, we had Saving Sunshine. Beautiful cover. Great story. Siblings. This is a good one. Definitely check it out. I mean, they're all good. I could be saying that about all of them. And Warriors. Boy, do we have some Warrior Cat fans. So they really loved this cover. And what was really neat about this book is it showed in the back, it's probably one of the reasons this one really stood out to them, different cover designs that they had debated before settling on this one. So it was really fun to kind of take a look at the different options, but they loved this one. All right. Some of these come back up, so I'm going to keep them handy. Their literary legend, that is their favorite character from any of the books all year long, they selected from the Cool Code, they selected the app. The app was represented and played by a llama named Cece. So the app that the main character designs, there is the representation of the app Cece. And Cece is quite hysterical and was the literary legend for this group. And finally, their Reader's Choice Champion, their favorite book that we read this year, counting everything, the graphics, the story, all of it, they gave that to 2 books. Warriors and Keeper of the Lost Cities, part 1 of book 1 graphic adaptation. Man, I need to silence my phone. It's around here somewhere. All right, so these were the Reader's Choice Champions for the 8 to 10-year-old book club. Now, you're going to notice when I share the 11 to 13-year-old graphic novel choices, their winners, that they read very similar books to the 8 to 10-year-olds. In fact, the majority of the year, they read the same books. So you're going to see a lot of these titles repeat. But before I share that, I thought it would be fun to share my choices. My vote doesn't actually count when it comes to these books. I don't count me in the vote. So I'm going to share with you who I would have picked for each of these categories. So for me, the visual virtuoso was Things in the Basement by Ben Hackey for me. I loved these graphics. The captivating cover for me was a book called Continental Drifters. Oops, still got one of its Post-its on there. The literary legend that I chose was Anne from Anne of Green Gables. Sorry, I love her. I was going to choose her no matter what. And my personal Reader's Choice champion was Aster and the Accidental Magic. I think part of this one was it was so unexpected for me. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did when I started reading it. And I was like, this book is so funny. And I kept telling my now 20-year-old daughter, oh, I wish I had found this when you were younger. You would have loved this book. So that was really fun for me. Okay. Now I've done the 8 to 10-year-olds. I've done my choices. Now I'm going to do the 11 to 13-year-olds. For the 11 to 13-year-olds, their favorite visual virtuoso, their graphics that were their favorite was from the book Saving Sunshine. I'll give you a little sample of the graphics in there. Really beautiful color palette on this one. And their second choice for graphics, again, these books are showing up again and again. Their second place with just one less vote was Warriors. They really liked the graphics in this one too. Really great light and dark contrast in that one. All right, their captivating cover award went to one of my favorite series, and that is the Explore series. These are graphic short stories and by Kazu Kabushi, who also wrote the Amulet series of books, graphic novels. These are short stories that several different graphic novel artists contribute, and the covers are always intriguing. So this was the winner for the 11 to 13-year-olds for the most captivating cover, and their second place went to Ember and the Island of Lost Creatures. All right, for their literary legend, they had way too many to name that were all kind of tied with like 2 or 3 votes. So the people that had 3 votes for them, Anne of Green Gables, not any particular warrior cat, but several different warrior cats showed up from Warriors, and then Sophie from Keeper of the Lost Cities. All right, and their reader choice champion, their number 1 book of the year in the graphic novel book club for 11 to 13-year-olds was Keeper of the Lost Cities. All right, let's move on to my monthly fiction book club. We had such a great year of reading in all of my book clubs, but we're going to go ahead and start with the 8 to 10-year-olds. So the first book that the 8 to 10-year-olds gave their award to, their first award for the Golden Bookmark Awards was A Brilliant Beginning. We like to talk about the opening hook in our books, so I thought it was only appropriate that they look back at the start of some of their books to give it a Brilliant Beginning award, and it was not even close. They loved the beginning of The Wild Robot. They were so fond of this book, and we loved how the beginning of this book was kind of mysterious and kind of bringing us into the setting. Hands down, the winner. All right, for captivating cover, we also had a standout, and that was The Lost Library. I mean, just take a look at that cover and all of the things going on. This was the winner of the captivating cover, and there wasn't anything even close in second place. When it came to literary legend, we did have a tie. We had a tie between the beloved Roz from The Wild Robot, who got 1 less vote than Pinky from Ferris. That was Ferris's crazy little sister in the book Ferris by Katie Camillo. All right, and then finally, the Reader's Choice Award, their favorite book that we read this year. I bet you are shocked to know it was The Wild Robot yet again. And then in second place, we have The Lost Library, but this wasn't really close. The Wild Robot was a very clear winner. All right, moving on to the 11 to 13-year-olds. They had the same categories for their books. So for The Brilliant Beginning, I thought I would tell you who won for me in the 8 to 10-year-olds. All right, Brilliant Beginning, I gave it to Ra. I just really liked meeting Ra, the lazy cat detective. For the captivating cover, I agreed with the kids. I loved this cover with so many clues of what was happening in the story. For literary legend, I also agreed with kids. I picked Roz. I love Roz the robot. And Reader's Choice Award, I actually picked the book that they gave second place to. I loved The Lost Library. I thought it was just a really fun mystery and it was unique and different. All right, so for the 11 to 13-year-olds, they gave the Brilliant Beginning Award to two books that were tied. Masterminds by Gordon Corman, the first in a trilogy of kind of an adventurous, dystopic, really utopian mystery book, and The False Prince, a series of 5 books by Jennifer Nielsen. These were their favorite beginnings. For the most captivating cover, without a doubt, they gave it to The First State of Being. They particularly loved, we talked a lot about this puddle design down here and what it meant after we read the book. And they gave their literary legend was actually to the main character, the False Prince, Sage. And their second literary legend, and it was very close, was Keith from Keeper of the Lost Cities. And then finally, we had their Reader's Choice champion. Their favorite book of the year was The False Prince, by far. That said, second place, while it wasn't close, a lot of kids admitted that they would have chosen the second place because it was their favorite series of all time. They felt like this one was kind of new to them, and so they wanted to pick that for the year. But a lot of them said that this is still their favorite series of all time. They gave me that qualifier. But those were the winners. So for me, in the 11 to 13-year-old book club, I gave A Brilliant Beginning to the book Masterminds. I thought this one was really well done. I loved the 1 in a million shot opening. My favorite cover, captivating cover, I actually gave to The Mona Lisa Vanishes. I just liked this one. The Mona Lisa's eyes, the thief. That's what I gave it to. My favorite, my literary legend was Keith from Keeper of the Lost Cities. And I did not pick the same book as them for the Reader's Choice Award. I actually picked Masterminds. I enjoyed this so much, I finished the whole trilogy. It was a lot of fun. I was really glad we read it. All right, the Teen Book Club. The Teen Book Club. This is for 13 to 15-year-olds. I really focus on 14 and 15-year-olds, but I have found a lot of 13-year-olds are ready for more violence and suspense and even light romance. I avoid that almost completely in the middle school books, but will pick teen books if I think they are valuable or fun or really enjoyable, as long as the romance is not really the focus and stays pretty light. All right. They gave the Brilliant Beginning Award to The Martian. And second place was The False Prince. All right, the captivating cover, the winner was Scythe. Without a doubt, this was the winner, but a second place award goes to, get here, Keeper of the Lost Cities. They liked this cover a lot as well. Their literary legend, their favorite character this year was Mark Watney. And their second choice, second place, was Sage from The False Prince. And then their final, their Reader's Choice Award, their favorite book of the year goes to Scythe. They loved this book. So did I. It was my third time reading it, and I did finish the trilogy this time. Such a captivating book. It's violent, but such a wild concept. Loved this one. And all right, so second place for the Reader's Choice champion went to The Martian and The False Prince. These were tied for second place in this group. All right, and for me, I picked for Brilliant Beginning, one of my favorite beginnings of any book is The Martian. My favorite beginning is actually the adult version, not the classroom edition. But it's okay. We'll give it to the classroom edition. My favorite captivating cover, I also gave to Scythe. I just love the color scheme on this one. I think it's really well done and eye-catching. My literary legend was also Mark Watney, will always be Mark Watney. Love this book. And then finally, my Reader's Choice champion actually goes to the book I Must Betray You. This is a historical fiction about the revolution in Romania to overthrow the cruel dictator there. There is torture in this book. It's violent, a little bit of romance, but oh, fantastic. And this author, if your young adult is ready for books like this, is an amazing author to check out. This one gets my Reader's Choice champion. All right, it was a great year. I will link down below some links and information to my book clubs. You can check them out. Of course, right now we're registering for Summer Book and Movie Club if you are watching this in May or June of 2025. So hope you found some great books to add to your summer reading list, and hope to see your child in a book club soon. All right, bye everyone.